a Pete Primeau fan.
Thank you for having me.
Your fans are like...
What an honor to be here, Pete. You're a legend. You're a rock star.
I'm a legend in my own mind, said my wife.
If I can do it, anybody can do it.
I'm Mr. Selling from the Heart. What's this guy, Larry Levine, going to teach me about selling from the heart?
You are one of the most generous and authentic people around. And I think that's why you and your show are so attractive to people.
Welcome to the Pete Primeau Show. It is episode 271, and we are going to be talking to my friend and boss, the president of DreamFit, Chealen Martin. But first, let's pay the bills. If you haven't already bought my book, Sell a Million, grab it and start implementing 101 chapters, probably around 200 ideas in there to help you market and succeed in your business and make more money. Best compliment I ever got on this book was from my friend Doug Stewart, who said, take the word mattress and take the word furniture out of it, and you have a great business and marketing book. If you guys want a sales book, because Sell a Million does sound like a sales book, grab my book, Miles and Miles of Retail Selling Greatness. When I wrote this book, I had 43 years of experience. Now I'm 44. And we figured out that I traveled over 2 million miles by car. That doesn't include the air miles. And so, guys, when I got through with the book, I said, what's changed? And it's a question I never should have asked myself, because I realized that a lot of things had changed and there were some really important things that I needed in this book. So I called up my friends. The incredible Scott Vaughn has a chapter. Mel Opp has a chapter. Steve Carnes, Brent Batterman, Chris Tahaney, Randy Thompson, Jeff Janakovo, Justin Trumbo, Keith Cassenguy, Mark Klingenberg. They all have chapters in this book. And if you do a weekly sales meeting, you basically, with this book, you have 3 years worth of sales meetings. 3 years worth of sales meetings. I think it's something silly like $20 on Amazon. So grab a copy and call me. If there's anything in there that you have questions about, need help implementing, call me, 419-560-3169. I'm happy to help anybody implement anything in either one of my books for that matter. So without a further ado, let me thank Steve and Greg for sponsoring the show. If you don't belong to the Mattress Industry Network group, you should. Over 3.2 thousand, 3,200, over 3,200, might be 3,300 right now. If you want to learn how to build, market, sell, and succeed in the mattress industry, this is a great group. It's 100% free. It's on Facebook. Just hit that QR code, and you don't have to be all alone. A lot of times our store owners feel like they're alone, and you don't need to be. There's lots of store owners in here. There's VPs of sales. There's owners of manufacturing companies. There's even a few RSAs, sales pros that work the retail floor. So everybody's in this group. Join the group. You'll be thankful that you did. And if you're serious about growing your mattress business, you really need to join Mattress Retailer Toolkit. It is unbelievable. I yell at Jeff constantly that it should be $4.99 a month. Instead, it's under $100 a month. And there's so much in here. There's tools, there's a community, there's training every other week. There's so much in here. You could never unpack it all. So if you're serious about creating a business that you own that doesn't own you, hit that QR code right there and join right now. I believe it's under $100 a month. So you got nothing to lose and everything to gain. So join Mattress Retailer Toolkit. It'll help you. I'm in that group as well, because I don't want to miss anything that's new and happening, and everything that's new and happening is in that group. So without a further ado, Chealen, welcome.
Good morning. How are you? Or afternoon on the East Coast.
Yes, it is. It is the afternoon, and it's the morning for you. So, Chealen, thanks for coming on the show. And more than that, thank you for leading the way through some very interesting times at DreamFit, where you actually put your jeans on, put your tennis shoes on, help them pack goods in the company, made deliveries to local retailers. You have led in a way that's inspirational, Chealen. And I just wanted you to know that.
Thank you. I not to derail this, but you talked a little bit in the intro about what's changed, right? And I think that you are an exemplary, an example of what's changed, but what's not changed. And if you ask yourself what has changed, the answer is almost everything. The customers, their behavior, retail, how manufacturers make products, to how they sell them, to how retailers sell them and buy, and all of that has changed. What has not changed, and what you've done such a great job in your career of, is service. Service is the differentiator that we can control. It's the one thing that we can all control, and ask yourselves, am I serving my customer, whether that's a retailer or an end customer or anybody? Even vendors can be customers, right? If you give them great service, you're going to be very, very successful. And I can tell you my first ride along when I joined DreamFit was with you, and I just got to see, I don't know how many of those millions of miles we drove, but I feel like we did a lot. And I just got to watch, and I was in awe of how every single customer gets the very best of Primeau.
Well, thank you. We have the Mutual Admiration Society going on right now. So when you say the DreamFit Playbook, what you mean?
So I think the DreamFit Playbook, and when I think about it, is how are we going to continue to grow and impact people's lives? And when we look at impacting people's lives, it's not just our employees that work at our office or around the country or even around the world. It's how do we grow and serve our customers? And our customers can be anybody from our retailers to the sales associates to the end consumer. And what we want to do is make sure that everybody that experiences DreamFit, it gets to experience the luxury of rest. And that's not just a tagline that we said, hey, it sounds good. We know that our products are incredible. And the more people that get to experience it, the more luxurious their rest will be. But we also have to change how we service our retail partners and make sure that they get a luxurious experience. So pretty much everything that we do is to try to make ourselves easier to do business with, to where we support our retail partners that truly are impacting people's lives by getting them the right product. So our playbook is very simple. It's do the right thing and service our customers to the very best of our ability.
I'm making notes. I'm going to dive down into some of this. And I said, do the right book instead of the right thing. So it just shows you.
Squirrel. We talked about.
Yeah.
I love chasing squirrels. You know, on our calls, we'll get squirrely.
So everybody says it, but hardly anybody does it. But I really want to dive a little deeper into this thing, because I think I've been with DreamFit about 4 or 5 years now. And, we were okay at delivering. And then when we made a commitment to really get serious and we announced it to our customers, our deliveries went backwards, but then now, today, and for a while now, our deliveries are like twice as fast, if not faster, than they've ever been since I started with the company. How the heck did you do that?
Appreciate it. Mutual Admiration Society, aside, I'll give all of the kudos and credit to our team, right? The thing that I noticed when I started was it seemed like we had some simple challenges that we had just ignored, and they just continued to compound and create some bottlenecks in our operations. So the first thing that we did was we sought feedback. So what did we do? We asked retailers, we asked our incredible sales team, what are we doing well and what should we do differently? And I can tell you it was literally, I think, my second week on the job when I rode with you, and we went and visited some great retailers, and people had feedback like, man, you're using too much tape, and the strapping and how you're shipping just seems inefficient, and it's causing us all of this heartburn, right? And we said, okay, well, tell your team if they're not at 40% sheet attachment, then they have to unpack the DreamFit boxes, right? We had a good laugh about it. But I came back and I said, hey, there's got to be a better way. And we literally just spent some time in the back looking at how we were shipping items, how we were managing our inventory, what reports we were using. In the meantime, we were changing over our ERP system to get to a much more sophisticated ERP system through NetSuite that has been great. It's given us real-time data that has helped us make our decisions from forecasting to production and manufacturing. But the real thing was, hey, people want to know when they place an order, how long it's going to take, and they want it tomorrow. We live in a world of instant gratification, and I've heard that brought up here several times, but we all know it's true, right? When you shop for something, you want to have it as quickly as you possibly can, and we weren't delivering on that. We were delivering great products, but we just didn't know when we were going to deliver it, right? It could have been 3 days, it could have been 3 weeks. And that inconsistency made it really hard for our retailers to manage their business. So we took the feedback from the sales team and from some customers that said, y'all need to have an order portal where I can just get on and place my orders. And, I know that there's a lot of things that seem simple. And we just had to dig into, did we make things more complicated than they needed to be? And the answer in a lot of cases was we were. So that was the big task, was making sure our inventory was right. 2025 was a crazy year, just thinking globally with all of the tariffs and all of the supply chain challenges, right? It's not just one tariff for one country. We've got manufacturing in a couple of our plants overseas, and figuring out, well, here's a new tariff today that wasn't here yesterday, and it might be there tomorrow, and we just don't know. So speaking with my owners, who I can't give enough credit for being very open-minded and really having a lot of passion for our retail partners, allowed me to say, hey, let's make a couple of these changes, right? You've poured your heart and soul into making the very best products with some incredible patented technology that you continue to innovate and improve on. Now let's make ourselves the best and easiest to do business with. And how do you do that? You have inventory. You tell your retail partners you have inventory ready to go. We're sitting on about 12 months of inventory on all of our products right now. Then when a customer places an order, you ship it as quickly as possible, and you have active real-time updates and tracking. And I will say the first probably 5 or 6 months with the organization, it was it was painful, right? We were going through an ERP system change. We changed our packaging to connect with our actual customer, and we launched our new protectors, and we did all of this, and it feels like the Armageddon of supply chain all hit us like on the same day. And it was a challenge. It was a fun challenge. We learned a lot, and we've prevented those same challenges from smacking us in the face in the future. Now we'll have other challenges, but like we did with this, we're going to ask for feedback, and we're going to listen, and we're going to figure out what we need to do to service our customers. Because again, that's you're going to hear me constantly bring this thing back to service, and everything we do is to provide the absolute very best service that you've got that will match the product quality that we have.
So I am really, really super intrigued. I guess I want the inside baseball. Um, there was new packaging revealed before you got there, and you scrapped it. And the packaging that you came up with was gorgeous. Absolutely, our packaging is the best in the industry that I've seen. So tell me how that came to be. I mean, they were all set to go. I mean, we were shown like prototypes at market, like before you got here, and everyone was like, okay, it looks nice. But boy, the reaction of what you eventually came up with was truly mind blowing. And I think it has a lot to do with you went right to the source. You started to think like our end user, and our end user isn't a guy and doesn't want all the packages in black.
Yeah, so fun. I love field trips, right? I haven't gotten to go on a field trip in a little while, but field trips are always fun, and it's always a great time to learn from other people that are doing things very, very well. And one of the things that we sat there and we looked at our new packaging, or the prototype packaging that we had, and it fit, and it was our DreamFit blue, which blue is my favorite color, and white, blue and white together. I'm just like, man, this is this looks good. I like that. But then when we dug in a little further and we did some consumer insight research, we found out I'm not the decision maker. And, I showed some of our old packaging to my wife, who is obviously the decision maker for our home and anything that has to do with our home. And she wasn't thrilled with it. Right. And I said, well, what should we do? And she was like, you need to figure out what I like, because I'm your customer. I'm your target customer. And so we go, okay, what industry are we serving? Right. And a lot of people, when I tell people the industry I work in, they're like, okay, sleep, right? I work in the sleep industry. Okay, well, what is sleep really about? Well, sleep is very connected to health and wellness, and so is beauty and skincare. And I can tell you, from having my beautiful wife and my beautiful 3 daughters, skincare is one of those just things that people will spend money on, and kind of without question. So we literally took a field trip and we went to Sephora, which is a great store, and again, a place where we can learn a lot about what our customers like, and learn from businesses that are bigger than ours that have already done a lot of this research. And we just walked down the skincare aisles and we said, okay, let's look at this color palette. Let's see what our customer, it's a female. What does she like? What draws her eyes? Because there's something about why this packaging looks the way it does versus just everything being in a black box, right? That draws the consumer and makes the consumer go, hey, I need to read more about that. Maybe I want to read the back of the box. Maybe I want to pick it up and touch it, right? So that's what we did. And we did it in a very short amount of time, and worked with our marketing team on how do we execute this and how do we execute it quickly. And yeah, we debuted it in Vegas market of last January of 25, and rolled it out in May. And one of the things I will also say that has caused us a little heartburn just on old packaging. We've still got some nice lavender bags if anybody's interested. But one of the things we did do was we said, hey, our commitment to our retail partners is we're going to have a clean break, right? So all of our inventory, we're going to ship new inventory and new packaging effective May the 5th, I think is what it was. It might have been May 10th, but we communicated that out to all of our retailers. So there wasn't this going into stores and they don't know which packaging they're going to receive. And again, that's just one of those little things that we decided to do to try to make things easier on our retail partners. But it was a fun field trip. And again, it's just about understanding who your customer is and what they're interested in.
So one of the fascinating, oh Lord, okay, we've got to go with Jordan's comment here. Jordan Vaughn, the awesome owner of Happy Z's in Paducah and Benton, Kentucky, says Chealen is who he says he is. Since he's come in, delivery times are ridiculously fast. The new packaging looks phenomenal, and their customer service / Pete has been elite. Thanks. I'll give you the money later, Jordan. Extremely thankful for this partnership. Jordan, thank you so much.
I couldn't thank Jordan enough, right? So he was one of those first retail partners. That story, came from his feedback, and I really appreciate him and his partnership.
Jordan's fired up. Yes, I'm fired up too. Thank you, Jordan. And Becky Woolman. Becky, how are you today? Thank you for jumping in here. Becky is from Somerset. Well, she's not from Somerset, Kentucky. She lives in Somerset, Kentucky, and works for Cumberland, and with Kylie and Chris Nelson. We love DreamFit. I have several sets of the sheets. When Brad and his wife got me hooked on them, I knew I had hit a gold mine. They were meant for me. They were meant for me with the bands. I know, I love the bands too. I hated making my bed the first time, let alone 30 times later when my kids would lay in our bed and get up and down and the sheets would always pop off. Having the bands are genius. Thank you, Becky. So getting back, thank you guys for your comments. And by the way, anyone that has a question, hey, David from Canada. Love the awesome sleep peeps on the podcast. Thank you for always sharing and making us all better. You're welcome, David. So we had just gotten out of a sales meeting with you, Chealen, and you had shown the team, where we were going with our coloration. Well, I'm not our target customer. I'm like, okay, looks okay. Then I walked into a 2-day mastermind. And in the 2-day mastermind, somebody was selling super high-end coffee. And it was all this, the new packaging that they had spent millions of dollars on research was all the same as ours. I remember sending it to you like, hey, you're on point here. Here I am sitting in a marketing mastermind, and it lines up with exactly what we're doing. So well done, Mrs. Martin. Thank you.
She gets all the credit for anything good.
So that is an incredible commitment that you did make. As a matter of fact, some executives from other competitors said, well, they got to do something with that packaging. Like, well, it's not going to our dealer, so I don't care what they do with it.
Yep. Yep. It's like I said, if anybody wants to comment or come offline, I've got some lavender bags ready to go. Right. So you just let me know what your needs are. We've got lavender bags in stock too.
Christina Espinoza, love Chealen. His knowledge and dedication to this industry is awesome. You know what? I agree with that, Christina. We have not only a guy that's a veteran of our industry at the executive level, but we have a guy with a big heart who really cares about his people. So yeah, I couldn't agree more. Jimmy Hurtado, sweet dreams. I agree with Jordan Vaughn. Our customers absolutely love our DreamFit sheets. The ladies from the Dream Team call them the yoga pants for your mattress. Thank you, Pete, for having Chealen on today's episode. God bless you all. Thank you, Jimmy.
So Jimmy, I'm contacting our trademark attorney right now. I think that's a great idea. And what a great way to talk about DreamFit sheets. The way they fit, I love it. The yoga pants for your mattress. That's a phenomenal thing.
That's what we do here on the Pete Primeau Show, Chealen.
Yep.
Thank you, Jimmy. We appreciate you. And anybody that has any questions, we're live. Like, jump in, ask Chealen questions. I mean, it's only taken me a year and a half of begging him to get him on the show.
This is you mentioned it casually a couple of times, and this is a shame on me, and I would love to come back anytime you're ready. And I'm happy to talk anything and everything about this industry. I think Christina said something. I am very passionate about this industry. I love it. I've been in it for almost 20 years now, and I've been on the retail floor selling mattresses at a mattress store, to some great mattress brands, over here now to the DreamFit team in this category is something that I'd love to dig in a little bit with you, Pete, about one of the challenges I've seen from when people say the accessory category and where it is today versus where I think it should be, and where the opportunities for our retail partners really lie in a strong assortment opportunity and offering with DreamFit. So
let's go.
Let's go. Okay. Well, so being live means, my teleprompter, I can't really read it. So one of the things that I'll tell you, just my learnings being over here on this side, more on the accessory facing side of the business, is people had always looked at accessories as add-ons, and it's kind of fallen into this gift with purchase dilemma, right? And people look at gift with purchases and say, okay, well, we've got $300 to play with, so let's just, you can get your protector here or your sheets or whatever that is. And what our category and really what DreamFit is all about is unlocking this margin opportunity for our retail partners, not just use our products and give them away, as well as you may be giving other items away, right? We don't want you to give products away. And I think the gift with purchase thing has caused this self-fulfilling prophecy, right? So people look at it and go, okay, I need to give away $300 with whatever brand mattress I'm selling. So therefore I want to spend the least amount of money I can to say that it's worth $300. And then when I talk to our retail partners, they go, well, it's hard because all of this stuff is just given away, and my sales team just gives everything away. And I go, well, let's dig into this. So why do we think they give it away? And the truth is, for any retail sales associates and sales leaders out there right now listening to the show, listen to Pete, right? And pick his brain on this. But what I can tell you is, if you go to the retail sales associates today and compare them to 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, our sales associates out there that are fighting the good fight, they're smarter than they've ever been, right? Our customers are smarter than they've ever been, and our sales associates are smarter than they've ever been, and they're not going to get tricked. So what a lot of people that struggle with giving away items in this category, they struggle because they buy a very inexpensive item and they say that it's worth $300. But their sales team knows for a fact that an item that's this good can't retail for this price. So all the salesperson can do now is say, okay, well, I can use that as a giveaway instead of building value and trying to drive repeat customers, right? So this is where DreamFit comes in, and through some of our research and people that have come before me at DreamFit have done a great job kind of building a good foundation that I appreciate every single day. We've done a lot of research, and what we found is about 75% of people purchase a new set of sheets within 48 hours of buying a new mattress. So there's our benchmark, right? So that's when I'm a store owner, right? I know that 75% of my customers that buy a mattress from me are buying a new set of sheets. And I would be willing to bet that all of our listeners probably aren't at 75% sheet attachment, right? Somebody else is getting that attachment. And whether it's through their value offering or mentioning it or whatever it is, I think it's created a big opportunity for retailers to look at, how do I increase my average ticket? In today's world where traffic is always a concern, right? We always hear it, well, traffic's down a little bit. So the only way for me to grow is to close more or increase average ticket, and hopefully both. And then listen to some of the great people on this team that are connected with you, Pete, on how we drive traffic. But here's what I would present as, this is my little soapbox: bring in good quality products that your salespeople are very happy to give to, or not give to, let's not say sell to, but to complete the sleep system, right? when they know that they're giving somebody an item that will make them sleep better, the yoga pants for their mattress, or like we saw earlier, I think it was Becky. Check me if I'm wrong, but the sheets, the corner bands, the mattress, the sheets don't pop off. You have an adjustable base. All of these features are things to talk about and things to love. And then you'll have these customers that come back and replace their sheets. People replace their sheets far more often than they do their mattress, right? So what if I was the store that somebody came to buy their sheets, and I'm not coming back in 8 to 10 years to replace my mattress, and that's the only time you're going to see me? I'm going to come back in every 18 to 24 months and get a new set of sheets. Even though ours are going to last far longer than that, that's the average for sheet replacement, especially in our price band. So my thing that I would love to share with all of the viewers and listeners here is, when you think about your merchandising and your assortment in this category, you have to make sure that you are putting as much passion in finding the best products as you do when you pick out your mattresses, right? When we go into all of our customers' stores, there's a lot of thought that goes into what mattresses am I selling, am I showing to my end consumers. That same amount of thought and care needs to be done for the accessory category, right? We've launched our new protectors, and we're experiencing tremendous growth. We've got independent lab testing from North Carolina State University that show some really, really compelling data points, which, happy to share with anybody if they want to reach out. But we've got incredible products. And what I've found is people are buying our products. Our products aren't being given away. So it's an opportunity for you to make incremental sales, true add-on sales that are good margin items that your customers are going to love, from cooling to breathability to staying on and staying put. All of these things that could create a bad experience and affect the way the mattress performs, we're here to help you with that. And I'll give you my last little plug for one of the things we're doing is 2026 is the year of, we're calling Finish the Bed. So when we talk to our retail partners, everything you'll start seeing, we're going to have some training videos coming out very soon that will be bite-sized, but it'll all be about finish the bed. Every customer today, when they get ready, at the end of the day, they don't say, I'm going to mattress, right? They say, I'm going to bed. And their bed is an actual full system. And we sell them adjustable bases, great attachments throughout the industry. We've got higher average tickets, so selling more premium products. And then we kind of forget about the accessory category, which, on average, our number one selling protector and number one selling sheets, that's a $400 retail add-on, right? At very strong margin. And because the value's there, the performance, the technology, the quality, the durability, and the luxury, customers are happy to do it. And then they'll talk about it.
One of the things that you said very quickly, Christina, you're 100% right. Christina Espinoza says, build that ticket, all caps. Don't give away your profit dollars, exclamation point. Show mattresses that assume TOB sales with split head, etc. Yeah, if you guys got split heads and you're not showing them, shame on you. You got, split head should guarantee you an adjustable bed, should guarantee you protectors and sheets. And if you've gone that far, you might as well just give them, the opportunity to invest in a really nice bundle and get those pillows too. So one of the things that you said, and you said it very quickly, and it's so important. I've heard this multiple times, different retailers. The most repeated purchase item in many stores, not just sleep shops, but yes, in sleep shops, but also in better furniture stores, are DreamFit sheets. They buy them again and again and again. They drag their neighbors in, their girlfriends in. Come here, let me show you where I got the sheets. The stories that we hear at retail, Chealen, are crazy. They're off the hook. And our dealers need to understand the gold mine that they have.
I could not agree more. And I think that's when we talk about this and we talk about traffic being down, you already have, our retailers and there's some competitors out there, and everybody does a great job. And like I said, I love this industry. And but what I can tell you is we have a very, very high brand loyalty with DreamFit customers. People that get DreamFit sheets, those are the last sheet brand that they ever want to buy. They're extremely happy, extremely satisfied, incredible reviews online. And I try to tell people, when the traffic's low, give that customer a call. Somebody that bought an incredible set of enhanced bamboo sheets and they wanted another set, give that customer a call and say, hey, come on in, check it out, right? This is what else we have, right? What other items do you need in your house, right? So I think that if you just look at the average American, how many mattresses are in the average home throughout the United States versus how many sets of sheets are in the average home. So again, when we go back to these baselines, 75% of people buy a new set of sheets when they buy a new mattress. That's the highest of anything other than the mattress itself. More people are buying sheets than they are pillows or adjustables or even mattress protectors, right? And so I go, hey, this is such an easy add-on. They're already going to do it, right? And then once they bought a set of sheets from you, guess what? They're going to want to buy another one, right? They're throwing that sheet set in the washer and dryer. They want to put their other sheets on, and give them a call. Wait 6 months. Hey, just Pete, so thankful that we got to set you up with this great mattress. Maybe it's a split head from Christina and her company, which fantastic. We love it. Just wanted to give you a call, make sure you're still happy, and let you know we still have more of those sheets. I'm assuming you love the sheets. Great. Well, come on in. We've got another set ready to go for you, right? And it can bring a customer in without having to spend the thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars trying to get that one new customer to come into your door.
So I have to unpack this just a little bit. Ladies and gentlemen, store owners and RSAs, did you hear what he said? He didn't say send a text. He didn't say send an email. He said pick up the phone and call them. When you pick up the phone today, you separate yourself from all the other stores that they might have bought something, not even in the industry, but maybe some in the industry. No one's picking up the phone anymore. Pick up the phone. The phone will make you money. It is right now, currently, the most underused tool in your toolbox. Stop relying on emails that won't get read. Stop relying on texts that get ignored. Pick up the phone and use the phone. Chealen, thank you for that.
I'll never claim that something's, a thing that I've invented or come up with. A lot of things are from experience and then talking to great customers that have done this. But I can tell you my first job out of college, I worked for Xerox and sold copiers. And we would have our cold call blitz day in the office in the bullpen. And we got points for however many customers we contacted, and an email. This was back really before text messaging was a thing, but emails would receive about 1,000th of a point, because the more points you get, the more likely you're going to get an appointment with that customer. A phone call was worth a point. So you could send out 1,000 emails and it was as valuable to Xerox, who's got a great copier program. I'm not going to plug them, but learned a lot there. But really, it was how do you connect with customers and get to the next step? And phone calls by far, other than stopping by their office, which again, we would have one big blitz day a month. And but phone calls are so much more valuable than emails. It is personal, and using a person's name. Pete, I really appreciate your business, your support. We appreciate you. Pete, I've got that set of sheets. I mean, that's so powerful and impactful that it just can't be underemphasized.
So, folks, if you've never read the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, that's straight out of Dale Carnegie, still works today. It's probably more important today than ever before. Here's a little pro tip. Don't buy the newest edition. Buy an older book, because I've heard, my daughter actually told me this, they're modifying the new books to not be quite the same. Call it whatever you want. It exists. RJ had a great comment. The 300-pound foam, as Fawad Savari calls it. And Fawad is rarefied air. He is special. And yes, some people see it as a 300-pound phone, and it's not. Brad Carroll, we love selling DreamFit. We personally love ours. You're right, Chealen. We have repeat business on the sheets. By the way, we need a couple of those polos. Pete, Becky, and myself will rock them on the weekend. Pete is the best. I'll give you the money later. Thank you, Brad. Are you and Becky having a contest? By the way, you're gonna lose to Becky every time because she found something that's near and dear to my heart around Christmas time. I got smoked eggs. I never had smoked deviled eggs before, and I am absolutely in love with those things. Listen, we haven't talked about something that's really huge, and it's something that we address better than any other company in our category, maybe even in the industry. Years and years ago, we started to focus really on comfort over everything. Then some smarter people in the industry started to really focus on comfort and support both, because support is really important to get a good night's sleep and to wake up happy and pain-free and to have a longer life. But the thing that's new today that we haven't talked about yet, we kind of like touched around the corners about it, but I really want to go deep on this one. Temperature regulation. It's a thing. And, Bob Munkle, the great Bob Munkle, Uncle Munkle, does a great job talking about those three things: support, comfort, and temperature regulation. We're so far ahead of the curve, and you pushed us through that curve and ahead of the curve. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay. So that is, when you look at mattresses today, again, this is my background comes from mattresses. And again, tremendous thanks to every other organization I've worked for has really, really taught me some of the key things that are table stakes. And when it comes to good sleep, those are the three things that people are trying to figure out, right? You've got your customers that need to go from a queen to a king because they moved, right? Whatever. So we can find them the right mattress. But the reason why they're waking up in the morning, either waking up still tired because they're tossing and turning, that's probably a comfort issue, or their back hurts, right? And there's a support issue. A lot of people, still the most researched and demanded thing is I sleep hot, right? And sleeping hot is something that everybody goes through. And, we hear more today about awareness of all sorts of medical issues that are happening that cause people to sleep hot. We won't name any specific ones, but, there are a lot of women that say they sleep hotter now than they used to. And I will say that sleeping hot can absolutely ruin your night's sleep. And you can wake up in just a pool of sweat and it's disgusting, right? So that leads us to a couple of things. A, the need for your top of bed, TOB, shout out Christina, to perform, as well as your mattress. We have to get products that are cooling and breathable, and it has to be both of those. So we really looked at our mattress protectors first, which we launched back in last summer. And we said, hey, we are textile experts. We know how to make a product that's going to last over 200 washes versus industry standard is far less than that. But we looked at our protectors and said, what do we need out of a protector? This is your first line of defense / maybe your first line of offense. And what happens if your protector doesn't complement the great technology that exists out there in mattresses? So we said, every mattress protector out there, they are all waterproof, right? So that's table stakes. All the protectors are going to be waterproof. But a sheet of plastic, you could just leave your mattress in the plastic bag it comes in, and boom, you've got a waterproof barrier, but you're going to be miserable. So we looked at the two most important things for temperature regulation, and that is cooling, which we measure through Qmax, and then breathability, which is measured through the Ames water vapor transmission test. And we developed our three products. We developed them to be the quietest protectors But we also said we want to be the most breathable protectors on planet Earth and the coolest at each price point. So we were very, very confident, and we actually took our protectors and, frankly, all of our competitors' protectors, and we sent them off to North Carolina State University and said, hey, test them, right? We're going to put our money where our mouth is. We say that we deliver the best and coldest protectors out there at each price point, and we want you to prove us either right or wrong. And I can tell you, when we sent that off, we were all very confident, but there was this, what happens if we're not in first place? And the 100% agreement was, we won't launch the product. We're going to launch the best products. And when it comes to innovation, I can't, give enough credit to Jerry and Jeremy, the Wootens right there. And then our incredible product team, Danielle and Kenny, who do a great job too. But we've got protectors at each price point that are the coldest and most breathable, period. Point blank, end of story. And it's not even close. And why that is important to us is we go, look at the mattresses sold out there. If you look at your floor, when this show ends, I want you to just look up and look at the mattress department you're in, and ask yourself, how many of these mattresses have some sort of cooling or temperature regulation technology in it? And the answer is most, right? But what happens if you put an unbreathable and not cold cover protector on top of that cooling, high-performing mattress? Well, I can tell you what's going to happen. It's going to block all of that technology. So that's what we've done with our new protectors. And I can tell you our protectors are state-of-the-art, the best and coldest mattress protectors that you're going to buy at each price point. The other side of it was, how do we make this simple? And we talk about finish the bed. Finish the bed isn't, let's overcomplicate this. This is a very simple process of giving you the right protection for your mattress that complements your sheets and complements your mattress technology that you have. So we designed it to be a very simple, good, better, best. Here's a moisture wicking, very breathable protector. It's $99. It's got patented DreamFit first fit technology with corner band, so it stays in place, keeps it protected. Incredible mattress protector, very breathable, very quiet. Then we step up to our Dream Cool. We've got a great little mini bun demo unit that I wish I had here, but I'm in my home office today for the first time in a while. But we took all three of our protectors, sewed them onto one bun that shows on the back. It shows our bands, shows our first fit technology, and you flip it over and it's good, better, best. And you can touch our entry level stay dry protector with moisture wicking and breathability. For $50 more, you can add a phase change material cooling. So you step up and you add cooling, and it's only $50 more, but it's going to make sure that the breathability is improved and cooling is improved. And then for another $100, you get our Dream Chill, which is the coldest mattress protector on planet Earth. And it makes it very simple. Which one do you want, Pete? Right? And I would tell you the DreamFit team's little thing this year is making it simple. And I can tell you I've visited several retailers, and I met with somebody later last year, and asked them, they're at a very high sheet attachment. And I said, hey, what's your secret? And do you mind if I share your secret? And he said, yeah, I don't mind at all. And he said, my secret is he's got our sheets and he's got our protectors. He brings them over to the customer while they're on the mattress. And he just very simply says, you're going to buy this mattress XYZ that has A, B, and C features. These are the sheets that most people get that complement it. And it's that simple. It's not, these are 400 thread count. Let me tell you about the amount of twist in the yarns. And let me tell you about, he doesn't overcomplicate it. He says these sheets were designed to complement the breathability and temperature regulation technology in your mattress. These are the sheets most people get when they buy this mattress. And here's the protector most people get when they buy this mattress. And they both complement each other. They're designed to work together. They're designed to work on any adjustable base or anything out there. Split heads, we've got all the sizes. But I really thought that was very interesting, watching somebody simplify the process and provide the customer the reassurance that this is what most people are doing. And it complements your mattress. Like you said, temperature regulation is such a key selling feature of all these mattresses. It's got to be there with all of your sheets and mattress protectors as well.
All right. I have two things that I have to get in. I walked in, Anthony Klatt. So here we go. Squirrel. Anthony Klatt says, on the subject of comfort, how often does Chealen find that a mattress protector changes the feel of the mattress versus what a consumer experiences in the showroom sales floor? It's a great question. Thank you, Anthony.
Yeah. Thank you, Anthony. That's a tough question, right? So I knew that if anybody's going to ask the tough ones, it's going to be Anthony, and I appreciate it. I told my daughters on the show that I was going to say 6-7 at some point. So 67% of the time. No, but realistically, I think it happens far more often than we would ever care to admit. And that is why when we developed our new protectors, we said they've got to be thin, they've got to be breathable, right? And they can't be loud and noisy and crinkly. So anytime you add more and more technology, it's hard to make that thinner and thinner and thinner. What we have done is, as we add a phase change material or a PE material, which is how we unlock some of these cooling features, there's going to be a little bit of height or depth to the mattress protector that increases. Now, where we combat that is we make sure that they're all tested to withstand all of the washes that we hold every product to, but they also have to be maximum breathability, which means flexibility as well. But if you are not talking about the mattress protector, what it is and what it does, you absolutely are opening yourself up to a customer calling and saying it doesn't feel the same as it did, which again takes me back to the reason why most people who buy this mattress, buy this protector and this set of sheets, is they're designed to complement the mattress and the feel. And they do that through breathability and cooling, versus just saying, hey, here's a really cheap protector and a cheap set of sheets that I don't really know what it's going to do, but it's worth $300, right? That, I promise you, is going to impact the way the mattress feels. But that is a great question.
Chealen, you've mentioned this a couple of times, but I want to deep dive into it really quickly, though. I walked into the space at Market and I saw a display I've never seen before in my entire life. I saw every one of our sheets, a brand new one and one that had been washed 200 times side by side. It was one of the best received creative display ideas that I've ever seen, that proves the one thing that we always say: Jerry and Jeremy know what they're doing when it comes to sheets. They are rarefied air. They've been in this industry for over 40 years, and they just do a great job of sourcing and driving that idea of you can wash our product 200 times with that display was really creative. So did Mrs. Martin come up with this one as well? That is my question.
She came up with everything that I've ever come up with in spades. So no, I will tell you, we were brainstorming, talking about DreamFit, what makes us special and unique. And everybody knows us for our corner bands, right? And ours are the very best. Other brands out there have knocked it off and come up with their own versions. Now ours are the best and there are more features to ours. But what really makes DreamFit special is it boils down to the fiber that we actually source from around the globe, right? And then what we do to that fiber, from the proprietary amount of times we twist each and every different material that we make to make sure that it's going to maximize durability, breathability, and luxury all together. And when I found out that we have this crazy amount of durability requirement testing that we do, I go, well, what's the industry standard? And then we hear that the industry standard is about 20 washes. And I go, man, we've got to take credit for this. We either stop putting that much quality in our products or we take credit for it. And obviously, I say that kind of tongue in cheek, but we're not going to make inferior products. We'll never do that at DreamFit. So now what we have to do is make sure we take credit for it. And that's where that whole idea came from. It was, let's show it. So we actually had a person in our lab at our office in Coleman, Alabama, wash and dry those sets of sheets 200 times. And then we put them side by side with a brand new out of the box sheet and said, tell me which one you think has been simulated for 5 years of use of wear and tear. And I will say, I just texted you a picture, Pete. we just showed at one of the buying group shows, Nationwide Primetime, and we built one. So went down there a day early and built one of those displays by hand. I've tinkered with it. I built one in my driveway a few weeks back, but it's something that I think would do really, really well at retail. Now, we'll have to have those conversations with each of our partners, but I think that it helps tell the story of why you should buy your sheets from us. And I don't mean us DreamFit, I mean us, our retail partners.
Thank you for sending that to me. So here's the question of the day. Is there a question that I should have asked you that I didn't, that we just didn't get to?
Yeah. You've asked great questions. I would say, you asked about the playbook, and if you dug a little deeper, you would maybe ask what's next, what's on the horizon for DreamFit. And
what's next? What's on the horizon for DreamFit?
Yeah. So I can tell you it's innovation, right? So we've got some innovation things in our pipeline. We showed some ideas to retailers out at Las Vegas Market. We called it our innovation lab, where we gave a peek behind the curtains of these are items that we're currently R&D phase. Do you like them? Do you not like them? So we've got a new sheet set that we're not quite ready to announce what it's going to be, but it'll be coming out this year, and I'll have a little more information. Maybe that's the next time I hop on this show, Pete. We can announce it live first. You heard it here first. Maybe that would be a great idea.
Awesome.
But innovation, I think from DreamFit, our focus was servicing our customers the right way to build us up and have what we're calling a transformative year in 2025, making sure we were ready to operate at the same level that our sheets and protectors perform. So now it's how do we continue to elevate the category? How do we continue to provide things that customers are asking for? And so innovation is what's next. We're focusing on continuing to do the things that we've done well in, over the past little bit, right? So shipping as quickly as possible, packaging, having it look beautiful and connect with the customer. But now it's asking for feedback. Ask our retail partners and our great sales team, what do you need? What do you need that DreamFit can provide? And I can tell you when it comes to anything in the accessory category, we can do anything and everything. So I would love to hear any feedback from anybody, what you think we're doing well, what you'd like to see us change. And I promise you that won't fall on deaf ears. We will take that and try to implement changes as quickly as we can. But what's next is some cool, exciting innovation that I think everybody's going to really like. And it's going to be something that is new and maybe not what you would consider standard DreamFit items. And whether it's a new set of sheets that is a material we've never launched before. But that's what's next.
That is so exciting and so awesome. You said something that was really, really important. Right now I'm getting a lot of questions from dealers. What about the supply chain? There's all this stuff we see in the news. And then you sat here and you dropped a bomb, but you said it so casually. It was like a nothing burger, but I want everyone to really understand this. We have 12 months of inventory on hand at DreamFit. That's a competitive advantage in this crazy world we find ourselves in right now. Very few companies have the bandwidth, have the ability financially to do that. That is a very, very deep commitment that Jeremy and Jerry have made to you, our dealers. To carry 12 months of inventory right now is incredible, and it's an incredible advantage. What say you, my friend?
Yeah, I would say one of the things that I've learned since coming over here to DreamFit and really this category is it can feel like a daunting task to change accessory vendors, right? So maybe you've brought in too much inventory from a previous vendor so you could hit certain thresholds, whatever that reason is. A lot of people go, man, it's a pain in the neck to change vendors. And I go, okay, here's my promise. You can change to DreamFit if you aren't a current vendor. And what I do promise you is you won't have to change again. You're going to do business with people that I hope you enjoy doing business with. We're fun. We enjoy things. We listen to our retailers, try to provide them the service that they need. But we won't give you a reason to have to change. We're not going to run out of inventory. We're going to continue to press the envelope when it comes to innovation. And all of these things are just due to our investments in listening to our retail partners. And if you come over to the DreamFit side, I promise you we'll take good care of you. Oh, there it is. Yeah.
It's magic.
Yep.
Chris Stone, you are the absolute best. So a little inside baseball. I sent this to Chris Stone about 60 seconds ago. That was our display at market. So Chealen, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking the time out of an already way too busy schedule. Thanks for all the positive changes at DreamFit. I know, not to beat a dead horse, but I know you were in that warehouse. I know you had your jeans on. I know you had your tennis shoes on. I know you went out on deliveries. I was tickled pink when we were able to ride in a car and you had only been there for, I think it was your second week. I think you had 1 week in, and next thing I know, I'm in a car with you. So thank you. Our dealers really appreciate you listening to them and delivering. Somebody who's watched this show that wants to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to do it, Chealen?
I am an absolute open book. I would say give me a call, and we can put my phone number on there. I think that there are some traditional ways my email is chealen.martin@dreamfit.com. I'll give my cell phone number out there. If you do give me a call, I am getting a lot of spam calls. If I don't answer, don't take it personally. You can shoot me a text and say, "Hey, heard you on the Pete Primeau show, and would love to connect." So Pete, I don't know if I can put my phone number on there or if we can send it out, but I'm happy to talk to anybody.
What's your cell number?
205 516 8546.
8546. 205 516 8546. And Chris Stone beat me to it.
There you go. He did a great job. I think this is, so we're wrapping this up, and I will tell you, this has been an absolute blast. I love hearing this show, watching this show. I'm also getting to participate in it for the first time, and hopefully not last time. You'll have me back, but your listeners are, I promise every single one of them that you are learning something from Pete with when you talk about experience, but it all goes back to this one word that just can't change. And that's service. And exemplary service is what you do through this show and through just how you work with all of your partners. And I'm so thankful to be a part of it and get to work with you and be on this show.
Well, I love this show, and we're going to do it again. We're not going to wait too long. I want to say thank you to all of these folks: Brad Carroll, Becky Woolman, Christina Espinoza, Anthony Klatt, Jordan Vaughn, Jimmy Hurtado, and David Grange. And not the least, the great, and I mean truly great, RJ Williams. Every store owner, you should model yourself after RJ, because that's a dude that gets a new idea and it's implemented by him and his co-owner, Tara, within a few hours. So take all this stuff and implement it, guys. Go forward and sell 1 million. Chealen, thank you for being here, brother. Appreciate you.
Thank you. We'll talk soon. Thank you, everybody.
You bet.